Now we're going to go ahead and take a look at scripting in Unity. We're going to be using JavaScript. So let's go ahead and create a file. You can right click in your project panel and go to create JavaScript. You can also do that by going to a little drop down right here and clicking JavaScript. So I have one ready to go, and it's going to open up in MonoDevelop by default. Alright, so whenever you're writing variables for your script, you're going to start off at the top of your script up here. And whenever we're writing public variables, you just type in var. You can also type in public, but for the most part, you don't really need that. So let's take a look at the syntax now. Now for your variable names, you want to make sure that you start off with the lowercase letter. And for your second word in your variable name, you want to make sure that the first letter is uppercase for that one. So we have variable boo. Now you don't want to start off your variable name with any type of special characters like a number or anything like that. And then we have a colon, which denotes type. So we're saying variable boo of type. And then we have the variable type, which is a Boolean. Now a Boolean is either true or false. And we have one equal sign, which adds a value to this variable. And in this case, we're setting it to true. And then we end the variable with a semicolon. So we have a whole bunch of different variables in here. So the next one is a string, which is a string of characters. And we're setting the value to this is my string. And whenever you're writing any type of variable types, if you mistype it, you should see that it turns into a different color. So right now it's set to black. So this is not actually a variable type of string. So we need to make sure that it's blue. And you do that by having the uppercase S, and you can see it turns into a blue. Alright, so the next variable is integer, and we write it as int. Now this is used for whole numbers, so we have a 10. The next one is float. Now that's used for any type of decimal type of number, so we have 1.4. Then we have some specific to Unity. We have a game object, which can hold game objects in a variable, something like a empty game object or a particle system or a cube or anything like that. Then we have texture, which holds textures. Then we have an audio clip and animation clip. Alright, so now let's go down to a little bit more of syntax. So we have this one equal sign, which means value. It adds a value to a variable. Then we have two equal signs, which actually means equals. Then we have two ampersands, which are and. Then we have a plus and an equal sign together, which means plus. You can also have the one plus sign by itself, which means plus as well. Then we have the negative symbol right here, which means minus. And together with the equal sign means minus as well. Then we have an asterisk, which means multiply. And then two forward slashes means a comment line. So you can start a comment line like down here with two forward slashes. Now if you want to create a comment block, you would use the forward slash asterisk and then end it with a asterisk and forward slash. Alright, so now let's take a look at functions. Now when you start a JavaScript file, you should see a function start and a function update. The function start is only called when we start our game, and it would include stuff like our default player status or anything that includes a default status. It would be called once, so you want to include it in your start function. Then after that we have our function update. And this is called every frame. So that will include things like a health bar, ammo count, or any speed changes. So this is something that updates regularly. Then we have our function fixed update. And this is called multiple times per frame. So this will be used for physics-based functions. You can have things like a helicopter rotor or any type of fast-moving objects that require multiple updates per frame. And finally we have our function fire. This is a function we created ourselves, so we can name it whatever we want. We can say fire delay, whatever we want. And in a function, you write the type, so we write function first, then we write the name of the function, and we put the two parentheses and these two curly brackets. In the parentheses, we can have anything that has a condition, so we could say for our function fire delay, if we press R, then do this. Now obviously this isn't how we actually write our conditions, but you get the idea. So we're saying in our function fire delay, if we press this or we do this in these brackets, in these parentheses, then we're going to go ahead and do this in the curly brackets. So that's a basic function. Now if we want to include a function in any of these other variables, any of these other functions up here, we can just type in the name of the function like this. So in our function start, we can just say fire delay, and then end it with a semicolon. So now we include the function of fire delay in our start function. So that is the basics of variables, syntax, and functions in Unity.